Good afternoon, folks. Very, very exciting news, as you can read on the heading of this video. I am so excited to hear this. This is a huge win for us YouTubers, which will keep us honest on our product reviews, as a lot of you have probably been aware of late that DCS Deep Cycle System batteries have tried to sue Stefan from AllOffroad 4x4 YouTube channel for basically telling the truth, letting you guys know exactly what's good and what's bad. And this court case had the potential to stop us YouTubers from, sorry, I'm actually cooking here, so I was just excited to hear the news. I thought as soon as I get home I want to go live because I'm so happy. Thumbs up, Stefan, good on you. I'm just cooking some vegetables here, just for me mum. I'm not really hungry. I've got a bit of salad in the fridge that I'm going to eat for myself when I'm hungry. So this I'm just cooking them veggies here. So I was really excited with this news, so I couldn't wait to get online here and to talk about this. Now, we'll be able to make sure that we always give you honest reviews. If DCS had won this court case, then that opens up a really bad situation for us YouTube reviewers. Because then we'll be too scared to give you the honest opinions on products to let you guys know what's worth buying and what's not. So DCS failed today. The courts here in Australia, the judge said they had no grounds to sue him for, and they were not within legal proceedings to do it. They were not legally, not only that, they were not legally allowed to sue him. I didn't know. Apparently what the law is, well, for defamation, for you YouTubers out there watching this, and for a lot of you guys out there that are rich and got products out, and then someone does a review video on it and say they don't like it, oh, I've got lots of money, I'm going to sue this guy and, ruin his life because he said my product's bad. Well, guess what? If you're a big corporation, apparently here in Australia, you're not legally allowed to sue for defamation. You can only do it if you've got 10 employees or less. Apparently DCS could not prove this to the judge. So, how awesome. I've been keeping quiet, watching these proceedings, and kind of backed off a bit on reviews, partly because of this happening, what's going on. I myself as a reviewer want to be honest with you guys. If I've got a product that's no good, I'm going to tell you it's no good. If I've got a product that's great, I'm going to tell you it's great. So far, what that's been sent to me from these companies have all turned out pretty good. But then I tend to try to stick to items that I've done a bit of research with and know that it seems to be have a pretty good following to review. Because basically, in the past year, we've been too scared to do honest reviews, because if DCS had won this stupid court case, which backfired enormously with them, and I'll tell you about that shortly. I found out a few things today, that they would have been better off if they just kept their mouth shut. They basically have ruined their company. And to be honest, guys, now that I know that we can talk freely as YouTubers, I didn't think much of their batteries. Hence why I've got a video that I did about, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, where I just was migrating to lithium batteries, and it gets a lot of views. And I had a choice between 4. I narrowed down between 4 choices which batteries I wanted to pick. And I can't remember the all 4 choices now at this moment. But one of the batteries I was looking at was the DCS. And in fact, a lot of people were recommending these batteries to me. But I was a bit suspicious. When I looked into the company, I thought their batteries were a little bit overpriced for what they were. And yeah, I don't know. They didn't have a proper address as such, really, where they were based. I couldn't find hardly any info, and I was a bit sus with them. And I thought they were overpriced, like I said. So I never included that in that test, and that's the reason why. So they have big claims. You can use their batteries to start their car, etc. But I don't care what people say. A lithium life PO4 battery is a life PO4 battery. A life PO4 is a life PO4. There's no different chemistries of life PO4. Well, there is to some extent, really. But that's getting into really advanced stuff. But generally a life PO4 is a life PO4. And the consensus worldwide is they don't like heat. They're no good as a starter battery, as Stefan eventually found out, because he had 2 in his vehicle and he had problems with them. So he did a video, he wanted to be honest, he did a video and said that he's had a problem with them, that they're not working as they claim. So DCF wanted to sue them for defamation over that, where he was telling the truth. I don't know, as far as I knew, aren't we supposed to have freedom of speech, a free country, and we're supposed to be able to say what we are? So if this court, if DCS had won this would have been very bad for us YouTubers, where we'd be too scared to give honest reviews. But now, we can give honest reviews. So, and this is exciting news. Good on him. Cost him about $90,000 to fight this. Mind you, he did have a GoFundMe go which was very successful. But this has kind of backfired big time for DCS. Because a lot of the big YouTubers, not just from Australia, but from around the world, got hold on this case and done videos on him. Will Prowers, for example, if you never heard of Will, I think he's from America. He's got a huge following worldwide. And this guy is probably the David Attenborough of batteries. You got the real, you got your David Attenborough, wildlife. You got your David Attenborough of forward driving, which I regard Andrew St. Pierre White is. And Will Powers is up to the standard where you could say he's the David Attenborough of batteries, technology, stuff like that. So he actually pulled apart one of these batteries, and I saw the video of it when he did it. He pulled it apart and he said, this is not a battery to warrant that sort of price. It was very, in his opinion, it was very poorly assembled. Extremely poorly assembled. So, and I knew that, guys. I never ever looked into them. I had companies tried to tell me, oh, get these batteries, you know, we'll give you a deal on this or something, and then even with a deal, they still wanted, you know, a zillion times more money than what anyone else is, you know. And also another thing that the judge was not happy about, and he absolutely got into, apparently he just got straight into the CEO, the owner of the DCS mob. He's claiming he had an employee called Michelle. Guess what, guys? Michelle is a person when you call and you've got issues with the battery and you call and if someone called Michelle answers the phone, guess what? Michelle's AI generated, it's not a real person. So what does that tell you? You know, I must tell you that he must get a shitload of phone calls with issues on those batteries if he had to go to the extent to put an AI generated, computer generated person and pretend it's a real person to answer your calls. Now you think, you know, you would think that it's just a few calls per day, 1 or 2 calls a month or something, you know, as a CEO of the company, you would think, yeah, you know, you ring the person and talk to him yourself and say, you know, Can you hear me now? Yeah, okay. I don't know why, don't know what happened, but bye. Oh, is there sound back? Oh, sweet. Okay, good. I was just about to log off. That's lucky. Yeah, so humongous news there. Just let me just bring this over. Is this enough for you? So, yeah, guys, very exciting news for that to happen. Because as I said, I was mentioning before, there's a lot of big YouTubers have actually got onto this and did stories on. So hang on, we can't get this thing set right. That's as good as I'm going to get it. So yeah, so it's pretty big news. Now, as I mentioned, there's a lot of YouTubers, big YouTubers out there. They've actually did stories on this, including some very famous lawyers, etc., that are even based in America. Because even American YouTubers were following this. Because there's a very similar case, ongoing case that's going on in America at the moment with a guy called What the Hales, where he's been stalked by a fan to the extent where they even followed them to where they bought some property in Florida and started stalking him and consistently asking for money. And then when he said no, they started making a lot of lies about him, accusations, etc. So he took her to court, basically just to shut her up. And then ended up with a very, very dodgy judge that didn't give him a chance to have a fair court case. So it's called What the Hales, Hales, if you want to follow it. So he put the word out there as well that in some ways it's not similar, but in some ways it is similar to what was happening with Stefan, but in the opposite direction. But this guy's got a huge battle in the court, and he is winning. He actually is winning. But it's a very long, slow process. And he says that this could change, this will risk YouTube reviewers, and it does, because if they had won this, then I can tell you now, then you will not find too many YouTube reviewers out there that's going to give an honest review. Every video they'll do, they'll just have good things to say about it all the time. In fact, I've got one product in the camper trailer that I purchased, and yeah, I haven't done any review videos on it. I've been umming and ahhing whether to do it. and it's bugging the crap out of me, guys. It is terrible. It's a battery charger, and I paid good money for it, to be honest. I could have bought a Victron cheaper than what this one is. So it's got some major issues with it, and from a relatively very well-known company. But talk more about that battery charger maybe in another video. No, it's not Enerdrive, guys. Enerdrive's fine. Enerdrive chargers, as far as what I can see, are very good chargers. I don't see any issues with them. So, I mean, the charger in question works, or actually, should I say it works? It kind of does. It works and then it doesn't work. And that's the issue I got. It's a charger where you... Okay, let me give you an example. A lot of you guys with caravans, myself, camper trailers, will pull up at a caravan park. Your battery's down a bit, so you want to charge it. You want to run the aircon. You want to run your, I don't know, whatever you got, your TV, whatever. You want to charge this. You want to run your Starlink. So you connect to your AC charger. Get up in the morning to find your battery's flat. Even though it's plugged into a charger. How stupid is that? Why the fuck, excuse the language, would you decide a battery that you turn it on and then you charge it, and then when it's fully charged, even though it's still switched on, it stops charging. Meanwhile, you've got an aircon running, drawing 1,000 watts, 2,000 watts. You've got your coffee machine going, drawing 1,000 watts. All of a sudden, 3 hours later, you wake up through the night, everything's turned off, and you're wondering, why is my lights turning on? Why is this not working? Why is that not working? You'll find your battery's flat. The charger that's not going to remain in my camper for much longer. Before the camping season, that thing's going. Because the only way I can get it, so I'm just going to go grab a cup because I want to drink. The only way to get that thing to keep charging your battery, switch it off and on constantly throughout the day. I did a test the other day and I connected the battery charger to it and I ran a TV and I ran a Starlink off it. I ran my 75 litre fridge freezer and I ran the hot water system on it. And I left it on charge. I turned the charger on. I got up in the morning, the battery was down to 40% charge. And I've got a 240 volt charger plugged in. And that's happened while I was sleeping. Okay? So the only way I could get that charger to work again is by unplugging it from the 240 volt, switching it off, and then switching it back on again. And then it'll start charging, but once the battery is fully charged, it stops working. It won't charge. So it doesn't trickle charge. It's a bit of a flaw in my books. Good evening, Josh. So let's talk a bit more about this DCS. I was always sus about their batteries, hence why I've never mentioned them on my channel, and probably just as well after what's happened to Stefan. But now that I know that those guys can't hurt us YouTubers, mate, you go on YouTube in the last couple of hours and see how many videos are popping up talking about this, like I am. Will Prowse. Now, DCS had to shut up. They would not have defamed their name or their company by as much as what has been happening. Because it is estimated through just some of the few major YouTube channels that have been following this story, there's some 5 million views. 5 million views. So that's 5 million people, minimum, that's been following that. Will Prowse himself, I think his video's got something like 1.5 million views. John Coggeran, or whatever his name is, I think, famous Australian YouTuber, like 1 million views, when he, almost 1 million views, I believe. Many others as well. So this is, no worries Grant, how are you? So this is good news. Well, this is bad news for them, because if they had to shut up, you know, they wouldn't have had this negativity views, people seeing. Will Prowse would not have purchased one of their batteries, pulled it apart to find that it was inferior quality. That's right. He found it was very poorly made, put together. Some of the cheapest batteries, he said that he's reviewed as better quality. That's not out of my mouth, that's out of his mouth. So there you go. So it's good news for us YouTubers that we can be honest now. Without worrying about being threatened for defamation. So that's all I wanted to say, guys. Just doing a bit of washing here. Just curious, has anyone encountered a battery? You're using a battery charger that when the battery is fully charged, it switches off and doesn't keep it fully charged. I don't know how you caravans are set up, a lot of these new caravans now. Are they set up that they bypass the system? They bypass everything when you go to AC? Or does it still go through your inverters? Do you still use your inverters? Don't know. A lot of camper vans, and there's a lot out there, wouldn't have a system where it just bypasses your 12 volt setup, your inverters and all that, and just go direct AC. Well, in some ways the Victron does. The Victron inverters, in some way, the Victron inverters, the ones, your multi-pluses, that's got the inverter, the AC charger, all built into it. It's when you go to a campsite and you plug into the AC, that AC from the grid will bypass the inverter and go straight through. So you got straight through. But if your battery's low on charge, then the charger will kick in. Now, the beauty with that system is that you can get away with a much smaller inverter. And if you do that, a lot less weight, less space, because weight's at a premium. Because be fair dinkum, guys, from what I see, most people out there are overweight. I'm not talking about people, camping setups, four drive caravans. Today I saw someone driving past with a big caravan, humongous big caravan, a four-wheel drive, with a very heavy laden rooftop tent on it. Would have been in excess of 100 kilos, just that. Lots of stuff, jerry cans. Saw at least 4 or 5 jerry cans strapped to the roof, and a boat strapped at the back on top of literally on top of the caravan as well, a tinny. Could you imagine the weight of that thing? So, with these Victron inverters, for example, now I could have bought the 3000 watt multi-plus, but I bought the 1600 watt multi-plus because it was half the weight. The 3000 was over 20 kilos, and the 1600 that I've got is a lot more compact, a lot more narrow, much easier to fit in the places, and it was half the weight. So I got that. But what if I want to, I'm out camping and I want to run my air fryer or something which is 2000 watts. I want to run something that's 2000 watts. Well, I can't do it. But you can with that one there. If you're at a caravan park, say for example, I've got an aircon that draws 2000 watts and I want to run it over the night, but I've only got that 1600 watt inverter. Plug into the AC, and then what happens is, that's probably not the best example, but I'll use that example. Then what happens, say your air count turns on, and you've got that blast at 2500 watts. Well then, it will not overpower the grid. What it does is then the inverter comes in, and then it'll use the battery to make up for the power that it needs, the extra power. And that's the beauty with it. And I've tested it in the past where I've been remote camping somewhere, and I've got a little generator running and it's charging the battery, but the generator might only be 1000 watt or something. And then I've got that 1600 watt, and then I want to get 2500 watts out of the battery, out of my inverter. Well then I'll get the 1600 watt. They'll come from the battery, and the other 1000 watts is from the generator. But I've done videos in the past and spoke about that. So guys, I'm going to go now. It's very hot. I want to sit down, have a cool drink. It's been a busy day. So was going to be a quick 10-minute video just to talk about the good news of what happened today. So till next time, Cheers. See yous.